MQ4000 VR head strap claims it's compatible with the Quest 2, Quest 3, and 3S, which is impressive because they all have different mounting points. It's got hot swappable batteries. It looks like it's kind of trying to compete with BoboVR's lineup. Doesn't look like it has a fan though, but hey, thanks to Eagle Doc for actually sending this to us. The company did not give this to us. We're gonna open it up and see what we think. All right, another head strap, multiple adjustment points, even more maybe than the actual BoboVR, which is my favorite. If you're new to the channel here and you don't know that, I'm gonna be talking about this strap a lot because I think it's the best strap so far, but that doesn't mean we're gonna stop the hunt for more. So, one booklet. Aha, here's the key. Oculus Quest 2 mounting points, so different side arms for different headsets. Oculus Quest 3 side arms. Save this card to get free user support, qualified certificates, even been inspected, even comes with a screwdriver and a bunch of very little screws. I'm not gonna open that right now because I'm gonna lose those screws immediately. Now, it definitely starts off cool, but man, it looks like you got assembly and a lot of parts. Comes with a battery charger, so this is the $80 model. There's currently a 10% off on Amazon. If you get the $50 model, it just comes with the one battery. It doesn't come with two batteries, doesn't come with a charging dock. It has a 20% off though. So that would drop that one to like $40. This one down to like 72. The main head strap itself here, one battery. Okay, I swore this model was supposed to come with two batteries in the charging dock, because that doesn't make a lot of sense to only come with one, but that's definitely empty. One battery, even on the $80 model, which is not what I expected. Yeah, it says head strap with two battery and charger. Okay, we've been ripped off, everybody. That is not a good start. Could be Amazon's fault. Someone might have returned this without a battery. That's apparently a very common thing. We'll give a little benefit of the doubt, but already there's gonna be an issue. I'm gonna either have to report this or 100% lights up right off the bat. I like that it's 100%, although technically I would say it's 50% because the other battery's not here. Well, dang it, we were off to such a great start too. Okay, let's keep going. I'm gonna be honest right here. One thing I would have liked to see for this head strap, people have the Quest 3 and the 3S now. There is a lot of Quest 2s in the wild. Most people have bought their head straps for them. So I would assume it would come with the Quest 3 ones mounted and give you the Quest 2 option. I don't love that I now have to assemble this myself with screws, but you can't win them all. I've also tested, at this point, probably hundreds of head straps, so I am a little picky. And if I sound a little whiny, maybe I am. Oh boy. But this is why I'm saying that maybe it would be nice if it just came with ones already installed. For the average consumer who isn't really gonna wanna deal with all this when they get it. So when you open this up, you get the two arms. They do say right and left, and they even have 3s on them, I believe signifying Quest 3, and the other ones have the 2 on them. Nice touch. Woo! Very small screws, do not lose these screws. You know, we do have instructions, but I like to see if the average consumer is gonna be able to figure this out without them, because most people don't wanna deal with that crap. And it looks pretty straightforward. You got 2 holes there for screws, and it looks like it has the R for right side, the number's upright. So in theory, we should be able to just put this right together. So sets on easy. It even has a little notch so it stays in place when you set it on. Please tell me you're a magnetic screwdriver. You are, but not as strong of a magnet as I would like. Okay, well, if you're pretty good at screwing things, you might be okay, but if you're not used to building things yourself, this is gonna be a bit of a pain. So, what we're gonna try and do, got the strap here, I'm gonna get the magnet. Oh, come on. I know this is tricky, I know your magnet's weak, but I also have only really had coffee today, so my hands are probably a wee bit on the shaky side. Get that in there, aim it, screw it. I do like this little screwdriver, actually. This is nice. A stronger magnet would make it even nicer, but the fact that it's got this tip here and then you can keep turning it at the bottom, that's nice. One arm is on. We'll speed run this other one for you. Head strap is officially screwed. Save those 2 extra screws with the screwdriver in case later on we switch to a different head strap, or if something breaks and we lose one, boom. All right, Quest 3 time. 3 and 3S doesn't need any difference. So certain head straps, they snap onto the whole thing. And because of that, they need a hole here, just in case you're using the Quest 3, which has that aux port. But the way this one's going to attach, it's not gonna reach all the way up to that port. It's gonna stop short of it, so we shouldn't have to worry about that in theory. That port does, oh, it doesn't even make it up to that port because it has some sort of stopper built in back here. I don't love when they do that. I feel like the stopper's unnecessary if it's tight enough, and it would also give us a little bit of wiggle room to move those lenses closer if there wasn't that stopper there, but some companies think it's nice. They have one cable management hook built in. Cable's definitely longer than it needs to be. I mean, even at full length, you still have this much cable flopping around. Not terrible to have extra cable, but just unnecessary. Almost undetectable sound. So it does like a little beep, but it's very quiet. It's not like the satisfying BoboVR sound we're all used to. I like that sound, I'm used to it, but hey. All right, first try on. Oh boy, big head club people like me might be in trouble. At fully open, it barely got around my noggin. The padding is really thick though, so afterwards you can tighten it down quite a bit. But that thick padding is bringing back some memories of straps that kind of do this number. They kind of squeeze and they like squeeze up off your head. And as my hair has been getting longer and longer, I'm noticing that being more of a problem. But right now moving around, this thing is just working up the back of my head, even if I loosen this quite a bit. For my head shape, it's definitely not the most stable of head straps. Different people, different hairstyles, you're gonna get different reviews on that, though you can't completely judge a head strap just based on mine. But this real thick, see how thick and slippery this is? This is just not hanging onto my head at all in the back. Not unusual, but not great. Gear knob doesn't have too much play. It's a very gentle twist to twist it though. So you find like even if you just slightly bump it, it's kind of moving in, or if you push it this way, it makes that sound while it's scooting in. And it sounds like the top is kind of doing the same thing, like even if I just let go, it's kind of tightening itself. Shouldn't really be a problem in practice while you're using the headset, but it does make the whole experience feel a little cheaper and crappier. Gosh, I almost feel like you want one more strap under your chin, tighten it down, and then this thing wouldn't try and escape your head. It's not the worst as far as comfort I've tried though. And durability seems okay to start. It seems like, you know, a lot of bends and you're probably gonna be all right. You shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, obviously, but we're not gonna try a 10,000 bend test here. We just don't have the time. But the fact that it survived that just fine gives me some confidence. Back reads out what's going on with the battery with a tap. I had to tap it to see the 97 even though it's actively charging. And these are 6,700 milliamp hours, 5 volt, 3 amp out. So in theory, that should keep up with the Quest power consumption, even the Quest 3, which is a hungry boy. So with that, we've got it open. We got to mess around with this thing. I mean, this is going to be pretty straightforward. It'd be nice if we had two to run it. Comes with your USB, no power brick. Power bricks just aren't a thing anymore. In fact, I'm running out of them now because nobody ever sends them with stuff anymore. It's driving me crazy. But take this thing away, a couple of days, try it out, drain some batteries, see how it feels in active games, and get back at you with some final thoughts here soon. Back after a good long weekend of testing. If I had to give a synopsis, it's basically like the Wish.com version of the BoboVR that we love. For those of you in a hurry here, I will say, if you got this thing on a great deal, it's a decent head strap. Ultimately for me, of course, it's hard for something to come up against the S3 Pro. And one of the most underrated features on the S3 that people don't really realize once you get used to using it, it's hard to go to any other strap, is the fan on it. Especially the newest one that has that bigger fan we covered in another video. And I was even at DreamHack over in Dallas, and we were demoing Quest 2s, Quest 3s, and anytime I jumped in a headset to play something, I would find myself reaching up and turning on the fan if it was the S3, and if it was the Quest 2 with the M2. I was missing that. I wished I had it. And so same thing with this. Even when I'm sitting chilling playing a game like Demon or something, sometimes I just like to have that fan on low. It keeps air flowing. It keeps you from getting all stuffy in the headset. And so I missed that on this. So eventually in testing, I just took the facial interface off, which helps. You don't get the airflow, but at least you don't get quite as stuffy inside. And this strap was good enough that you could actually pull that off if you weren't being super active. Active games, you really noticed it slipping, but if you were sitting playing a stationary game, you could tighten down your head well enough. The battery offered a little bit of a counterweight to the back to kind of help balance the whole thing out. And so overall, it wasn't a bad experience. If you're used to a stock strap and you come to this thing, you're gonna love the adjustability, you're gonna love how it can actually go down the back of your head. Depending on your haircut, you might find it slipping a little bit, but that's kind of standard with all straps, sadly. It's just kind of the way headsets are designed. Elite straps are a little better at not doing it, but it's a reason that Bobo sends you this padding in case you want stickier padding instead of their usual foamy padding. And I was so tempted to just swap this out even in testing with this, just so this thing would stop trying to slip up my head. Ultimately, if it's 80 bucks, if it's full price, and if they actually give you both batteries, which again, I think was Amazon's fault, I don't think that was theirs, it's decent. But if you found this thing like 60 bucks later, it's on sale, especially if it comes with the dock and both the batteries, I can see a lot of people still getting it and still appreciating the strap overall. Some of the things that I did initially notice though that still bugged me, obviously not just the slipping, this part, anytime the headset kind of moved, this would tighten down on its own and make that noise when you're inside. It's not a huge distraction, but it's there. And overall, the thing just feels a lot cheaper if you're used to something like the Bobo. But the fact that this is also around for the Quest 2 audience, the Quest 3S audience, it's okay. It's a decent head strap and it's a much cheaper price. But of course, if you watch out and the Bobo's on sale, sometimes this thing comes down to like 80 bucks. You're not gonna get an extra battery and a dock though, which really adds up the cost. But ultimately, if you're between this and that, I'd say hold out that, get your batteries and stuff later, because you also get 10,000 milliamp hours versus 6,700. But what do you think? Are there other straps out on the market right now that you're interested in? I know for a lot of people, it comes down to you either love the Elite because you want it to be really tight, really stay on your face, or you love the Halo because of that extra comfort, but you do get a little bit of the trade-off, and a head strap like this has more of the trade-offs. You notice it more, but it's not terrible, at least, like many we've tried. But let me know what you think out there, especially if you have this one. Did you get both batteries? One person who was talking to me about this one did get it, and it did include both batteries, so I think that was a random fluke for me, and I'm trying to get a hold of the company. If I don't just report it through Amazon, they'll probably send me a battery, because otherwise if you return it through Amazon, then who knows what they do with it if it ends up just being waste, and I hate that. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, but I want to say thank you once again for being here with me, and I'll see you in another reality.